Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Tori from Be Creative Crochet, and today we're going to learn how to do corner to corner using double crochets. If this is your first time doing corner to corner, or if you've tried corner to corner and you've had a hard time doing it, it's understandable, but once you watch this video, you're going to definitely know how to do this. This is one that I've worked on. It worked up so quick. I mean, there's so much fun to do. Once you learn this pattern and learn the basics of it, it will be so much easier. This is a sample that I did with Karen Simply Soft. I did it in a light color. It was just for fun, just something real quick so I can work up a quick swatch. But today, by the time we're done with this video, you will know, you'll actually be a pro at corner to corner. It's a really fun stitch. You can pull it. Look how it just, yes. You can do all kinds of sorts of things with this. You can do afghans, you can do blankets, you can do anything you want. So basically, what you got to understand is when you're doing corner to corner, there is a rule. I never learned this rule before, but it made it a lot easier for me. The rule is that you should always remember is if you're going to increase, which means going up, building up, going up this way, you're always going to be chaining 6 to build up. But if you want to decrease, which means to stop at a corner, then what you'll be doing is slip stitching, okay? So if you remember those rules, to increase is chain up of 6, and if to decrease, you will be slip stitching. To decrease is when you're wanting to end off that side. You want to stop going up. You don't want to keep building up and one side going out. Unless you're like building a huge afghan, you'll be going out until you get to your corner, which will be on your graph, and then you'll just end up slip stitching up. But everything that I'm saying right now will make more sense once we get started, okay? So grab you some yarn and grab you the hook that's required for your yarn, and let's get started. Right here, I'm going to be using a red Karen Simply Soft. I wanted to show up on the camera a lot, easier for you guys. I know the last time I did a lighter yarn, but I want to make it to where you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So to start for a corner to corner, you're going to start with, of course, the slip stitch. So we're going to go ahead and make our little, I'm not slip stitch, but a slip knot. And start with a chain of 6, okay? So we're going to chain 6, yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? Now, let me go up some so you guys can see. You guys see there's 6 here, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, okay? Always remember that because you're going to be doing that a lot. Every time you increase, you're going to be doing this chain of 6, and you're going to always double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, okay? Because you're always doing a set of 3, okay? Just remember that as well, sets of 3 double crochets. So let's yarn over to do a double crochet in the 4th, which was right here. So you'll do your double crochet. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2, okay? We have 2 more spots, so do 2 more double crochets in the next 2 spots. And 1 more. Okay. This is going to be your first box, okay? Now, turn your work, because I know you're not stopping there, so turn your work, chain up of 6, because we need to increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, you're going to be doing the exact same thing that you just did a minute ago. So, you see in the 4th chain from the hook, you're going to do a double crochet. So yarn over, pull through the 2, and pull through 2. Again, you see you have 2 more spots. So do 2 more double crochets, because remember, each box is a set of, technically it's a set of 4 double crochets, but you're only doing 3 because your chain is also making 1, okay? So go ahead and go in. I have one more spot to do. Okay, so now we have this. It looks kind of wonky. You see, yours should look exactly like this. Now, you know that little chain that we did in the beginning right here? We're going to slip stitch into that. So take your hook and slip stitch, okay? And you're left on that side at that very corner of this box. You see what side we're on? We're not on this side, we're on this side, which is the right side facing you. Okay, so chain up of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now do 3 double crochets in this loop that you see right here. Okay, so there's 1. Here's 2. And here's 3. Okay, so let me show you what we have so far. Right now we have a total of 3 boxes. We have this corner, and then we have this one, and we have this one. Okay, so what we're going to do, being that we're still increasing, because we definitely want this to be a whole lot bigger than this. So again, when I say to increase, always remember to increase, to go up, you have to chain 6. So turn your work, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So let's do our double crochet here. Our next one, because we have to do a total of 3. And one more. All right, now like we did before, we have to slip stitch. To join each box to each box, you have to slip stitch first, okay? So you see that loop right there? We're going to slip stitch on the top of the box that's next to it. So slip stitch into that. And then chain up of 3, because now we need to make that box. What makes it easier for me, being that I'm using a Susan Bates hook, I don't want to catch anything on it, as like this piece right here. Hold on, let me make this clear for you guys. Oh, there it is. This box right here, I don't want to like pull at it by the hook. You see the hook? So what I do is I bend that box down to make it easier for me to basically get it out of my way, okay? So chain up of 3 to build this box now, and then do 3 double crochets in that spot right there. So 1, 2, and 3. Let me get some more yarn. Okay, so as you see here, we've slip stitched. Now we're about to slip stitch. Actually, we did our 3. Now you have to slip stitch into the top of this box. So slip stitch, and again chain up of 3, because you're on this side, you're on the right side. So chain up of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, do 3 double crochets in that loop. So here's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. Okay, so let's see what we're working with now. Okay, as you can see what's going on here. Okay, so here's our first box, here's our 2 next ones, and now we have 3. Okay, now if you want to continue to go up, you guessed it, you would turn and what? Chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, which is this one. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. Again, to join to that box, you have to slip stitch. So that little hole, slip stitch right there. Okay. When you're always on the right side, you're going to chain up of 3. Okay. When you're on the right side of the box. Okay. So I push it down, push all these down. I chain up my 3. Yarn over and do 3 double crochets in that area. So 1, 2, and 3. You guessed it, at the next box, which you're next to, that area right there, we're going to slip stitch. Okay. Again, we're on the right side of the, excuse my yarn, y'all. But we're on the right side of the box. Okay. I'm going to push this piece down to make it easier for me so I don't accidentally pull that part, and chain up of 3. Okay. 3. You guessed it again. In this loop, we're going to do 3 double crochets. So here's my first one. Let me get this out the way. Here's my second. And here is my third. You're going to slip stitch into this top box right here, into that loop. Okay. It's always going to be between, you're slip stitching between the chain that you do and the first double crochet that you do. Okay. We're on the right side of the box, so we're going to chain up of 3 because we have to do that box now. And then do, because don't forget, you always have to chain up of 3 before you, when you're on the right side of the box. Okay. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. As you see what's going on here, let me pull this out so you guys can see. So now we have 1 here, we have the 2 here, we have the 3 here, and then now we have the 4. As you see, we're growing. Okay. Now, let's say you want to make this into a rectangle or a scarf or anything like that. This is where it changes up. Okay. So if you're going to increase this way, the rule is to always chain of 6 when you get to the outside. Okay. Again, when you're on the left side of the box, which will be the outside of the box. Okay. When you're on the inside of the box, you always chain 3 when you're on the right side of the box. Okay. So you know when it's facing you, right side, chain 3. Left side, to increase, you chain 6. Okay. Same with this. On this side, you'll be chaining up of 6 to grow. That's what you want to do. Now, if you want to stop right here, what you're going to do is we're going to turn our work. Now we're going to slip stitch. Okay. You see where we are right here? Let me get in here. Right here. We're not going to go in that box. You're going to go slip stitch into the next one over. Okay. Another one. Okay. Now we're at this edge. Don't slip stitch into this area. You can if you want to, but I don't. Okay. So it's up to you if you want to. The slip stitch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our work, being that we slip stitch. Also know too, when you slip stitch, like let's say if you're ending off that corner, the slip stitch is basically to make it straight, make your edges straight. Okay. That's what that's doing. It's helping you to make that side really straight. Okay. So turn your work this way, because now you're ending that part off by slip stitching. So that means that our pattern is going to start narrowing down. So chain up of 3. 1, 2, 3. We're not doing the 6 because we're not growing on this side. So we're only going to do the chain of 3. So yarn over, and it's like before, go ahead and do your 3 double crochets in that loop. like normal, slip stitch into this part, which is this box, and you're still on the right side. I push this down, chain up of 3, because I'm definitely on the inside, so I don't want to stop there. 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch to join to this box, chain of 3, double crochet 3 times in that hole. 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch to the last box. Remember, you're on the right side of the box. So if you're on the right side of the box, you have to do the chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Do 3 double crochets in that final loop. 1, 2. Let me get some more yarn. And 3. Okay, so you see where we've end off at. Okay, so we're gonna actually grow it this way and not grow it this way. Okay, we're gonna grow this way but not this way, because right now it looks a little wonky, but that's going to get fixed up. That's why the slip stitches are there, to fix that part. Okay, so we're going to, since I'm growing on this side, I'm going to turn and chain up of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, again, 4th chain from the hook, you're going to do your double crochet. Your first one, your second, and your third. Slip stitch to join. When you turn it this way, you slip stitch to join into that box. You're on the right side of the box. You guessed it. Let me fold that down. Chain up of 3. Put 3 double crochets into this area. 2. And 3. I pull it back up so we can see. Slip stitch to join into the next box. Chain up of 3 since we're on the right side of the box. 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch to join where you are. You're on the right side of the box, so chain up of 3. 1, 2, and 3. This is where we stopped, remember? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to slip stitch first into that area like you normally would. Now turn your work. Since we're ending it off on that side, you're right here. Okay, you see what's going on here? You're going to slip stitch 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so from now on it's going to always be a slip stitch of 3 when you're growing. When you first do it, it'll be a slip stitch of 2. When you first start ending it off, that'll be only for that first box. After that, you will be slip stitching 3 times. Okay, just always remember that. The first one, when you end it off, which I started here, I only slip stitched twice because of where I was placed. But now from here on out, it will be slip stitch of 3. When you do that, turn your work so that you can go in the angle or the direction that you're going. So being that you slip stitched on this side, which is basically your decrease, chain up of 3, 1, 2, 3, because I'm on the right side of the box, and do our 3 double crochets. Ooh-wee. 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch. Again, we're on the right side of the box, so you guessed it, chain up of 3. 1, 2, and 3. The 3 double crochets in this box, or in this loop. 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch. Again, right side of the box, chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, do 3 double crochets in the same loop. 1, 2, and 3. Now, if I want to stop it here and turn this into a rectangle, this is what you do. Slip stitch, and then you guessed it, turn your work. Okay, so we're going to slip stitch up. 1. You can see, actually you can see the holes that you need to slip stitch into. So you see the first one we just did, and you see there's 2 more. So go right ahead and do your slip stitches up in these double crochets, the 3 double crochets that you did. Okay, turn your work since we're ending this off, and you guessed it, chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3, because we're actually decreasing. We're ending it off this side. We're done with this side. So you chain up of 3. So we're just going to make a regular box knot normal. 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch into this box to join those 2 boxes together. Oops, come on now. Pull that down, chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, so right now we just did our last box because we're at the top now. So you slip stitch, turn your work, and slip stitch through those 3 double crochets that you did. Okay, so let's slip stitch. 1. This is considered your decrease. 2, and 3. Turn your work, because as you see, you're going to be doing your last box. Okay, so chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. The 3 double crochets in this side. 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch, and then being that we got to make this straight, we got to turn it and slip stitch across. 1, 2, and 3. Alrighty, that's it. End off, and you are good to go. So that's, look, simple. It's so easy. Once you get the hang of it, you'll end up being a lot faster at it. It is so much fun. The main thing is just always remember, when you're increasing on one side, or this way, or this way. If you're going out that way, then you definitely need to chain up of 6 every time you're on this side to go longer. If you're going to the left, chain up of 6. If you're doing an Afghan, you're going to be doing a bunch of those chain up of 6s, because that's how you're going to grow it. But when you're on the right side, you definitely need to do this. You know, if you're on this side, you're going to be chaining up of 6 as well. Okay. But when you want to stop or end it like this, how we did here, then you know that you're going to slip stitch up, okay? So the rule is to increase, chain up of 6, to decrease, you slip stitch, and then do the box as normal. You slip stitch through the 3 double crochets that you did, and then you do a chain of 3, okay? Because that right there is what's going to even it off. That's the only thing that I think that the slip stitch is doing, is making it even. So it turns it like this sample here, how it turns it into like an even box, okay? So you can make this decrease, increase however you want to. Just know that this pattern does work up kind of quick, so just be mindful of that. But if you're doing a graph, and you need to see how it is, because you always start in that one box and it always goes from here and then it works its way up this way, okay? So you'll be always increasing this way and increasing on here. These are the only sides that you'll be doing the 6, the chain of 6, okay? Always remember that. The chain 6 always goes on the outsides. If you're on the inside of the box, which would be the right side of the box, then you'll be doing chain of 3, okay? If you remember that, you guys got it. It's so easy to do. If you have any questions, please let me know. Leave it in the comment section. I will definitely respond back as quick as possible. And if you need a more thorough video, let me know. I definitely enjoy making the videos for you guys, but I want you guys to be able to understand, because I see so many people struggle with this. And once you guys get the hang of it, you're good. Okay, so again, if you like this video, go ahead and like, share it, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Stay blessed.